Welcome to Conversation with Zaki Baruti, with your host, Zaki Baruti. And like always, I want to give a shout out to my biological family, what's happening, to the Universal African Peoples Organization family, what's going on, and to New Life Evangelistic Center family headed by Reverend Rice. Keep up the great work. And like always, we'll have a great show because in studio with me is a good brother who's all the way from the continent of Africa to be with us, and he's doing some amazing work right here in the city of St. Louis and throughout the United States. I'm speaking none other than my good brother Michael Kodjo.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Kodjo Anani.
All right. Before I begin all my shows, I always like my audience to know, the thousands of people who are listening, to know a little bit about my guest. So if you would, share a little background information about yourself, wherever you want the people to know about Michael Kodjo.
Thank you, Brother Zaki. I'm honored to be here with you this morning. My name is Michael Kodjo Anani. I'm original from West Africa, Togolese born, raised in Ghana. Almost 3 decades here in the United States. I spent almost 22 years in New York, and I went through 17 states to be here in St. Louis because of organization that we created called African Diaspora Council, who most importantly is talking about how can we all come together as a people to educate the world who we are and what black people are made of.
Okay then, so let me ask this question though. So you're from the continent. A lot of people perceive Africa as a jungle. Is that a correct perception? That's
not true. That's what they want people to know about us. And that's the reason why we need to tell our own story, not to let people tell our story. If you go to some countries today, if you go to South Africa, you go to Ivory Coast, if you go to Nigeria, you will see good places. If you go to Rwanda, clean areas we have down there. So that's not a true story, so we need to step up and tell our own story.
Right. So, I just wanted that because I've been blessed to travel extensively in the continent, and you have many cities that are similar to the cities of the United States and the European cities.
Yeah.
Okay, then. So, in terms of what do you think? Now, you found. First of all, let me digress. You're the founder of the African Diaspora Council.
Yes.
What is the mission of the African Diaspora Council?
The mission of African Diaspora Council, we have two main goals, is to first have African Cultural Center, the first African Cultural Center here in the United States, to educate the world who we are and what we are made of, and also to tell our story. The second part is to having that conversation, to start trusting each other and put our pennies together to create our own financial institution and promote development promote development in our communities. So we are here right now. We have the Cultural Center, a location here in Pagedale, not far from here where we are, 8.5 acres to build that Cultural Center. And then we approve our credit union, proposed African Diaspora Credit Union, soon will be African Diaspora Federal Credit Union, which is going to be launched this year to promote development in our community and tackle, most importantly, the payday loan rescue fund, that is payday loan industry that is disturbing our community in general.
So, okay, two objectives that you're working on: the Cultural Center, you made mention, and a credit union. Okay, in terms of the Cultural Center, you made mention that's not far from this studio. Specifically, where would that Cultural Center be located?
The Cultural Center the address is 1425 Ferguson Avenue, St. Louis, Missouri, 63133.
And when you say Ferguson Avenue, St. Louis, Missouri, that's part of a municipality that's called what, Pagedale? Am I
Pagedale,
correct? Pagedale. Yeah. Now, you also made mention of a credit union.
Yes.
So what is the status of is it already in existence or is it getting ready to come into existence?
Yeah, the credit union is a lot of process. Finally, we finalize all the process. We are at the last review step to launch the credit union. So that's the reason we are waiting for them to review our document, and then by middle of this year or down the road, we're going to get our charter and start operating.
So where would the credit union be located? Have you identified a site for the credit union to be open? And will the everyday person be able to access, like if they need to borrow money to build a facility or just to survive, would they be able to access that?
Yes. Our location will be the first headquarters, and mostly we want to be digital, and we'll have a different physical locations in the nationwide, and we want to make sure we reach our community. So we'll be more digital, and then you can also walk into the different locations that come, whatever people want to transaction they want to do. We want to operate the same way that every financial industry operates. You can get involved in a digital world, or you can walk to the physical location.
Okay, then, and you again, you're hoping to have that completed by, I guess you have to go through the federal authorities to make sure all the documentation is correct, and you're hoping that all that would be complete.
All these documents, all this regulation, everything is completed. They are reviewing documents right now. We have a good conversation, so we are positive that we are going to have the charter, and we are raising the last funds to the charter, because you have to have the startup cost to open up. So we supposed to be like a 1.5 million to open up the charter, and we are almost at the half quarter to the line right now to get the charter going.
Okay, well, of course, we wish great success for you, but right now I want to take a quick break.
I hope you're enjoying the Zaki Baruti show. Now we need your help to get the word out about this community affair program and so many others. Now, how do you do that? Well, you tell folks to turn to 24.2 on their television set, and even family, friends, relatives that live outside of the area, well, get them to put the NLEC TV app on their phones and look it up on their computer. 24 hours of wholesome family programming, so much community programming that you're not getting on other stations, right here on NLEC TV. So please spread the word. And while you're doing that, continue to get involved in the work of the New Life Evangelistic Center. So many opportunities awaiting you and your family at this particular time. New Life Evangelistic Center is on the front lines with first responders, directly helping homeless people day after day after day. Behind me are the new headquarters for the New Life Evangelistic Center, along with the studios for NLEC TV or 24.2. You may want to drop by and visit them sometime. This is where we record the Zaki Baruti program at 2428 Woodson Road in Overland, Missouri. New Life Evangelistic Center is offering homeless people so many opportunities to be set free from the cycle of homelessness, has a wide variety of safe houses, and so many women and children are staying there, and they're learning all different kinds of different skills, all kinds of skills here at 2428 Woodson Road. We also have the training centers in New Bloomfield, Missouri, Marshfield, Missouri, the largest daytime walk-in facility, southwestern Missouri, northwestern Arkansas at 806 North Jefferson, in Springfield, Missouri, the worldwide work of the New Life Evangelistic Center in Kakata, India, and then in Lagos, Nigeria, and in Haiti, all over New Life Evangelistic Center, trying to help people that are in need. New Life Evangelistic Center receives no city, state, or federal dollars, and we're only able to do this as a result of the prayers and involvement of caring people like you. So please pray for this work, and please partner with the New Life Evangelistic Center so we can continue to keep the Zaki Baruti Show and the other community affair programs on the air. Remember, tell everyone you know about it, and go to the NLEC TV app.
God's power is at work today. The purpose of God's power is to transform us into sons and daughters of God, daughters and of light that walk around and point back to Christ. When Jesus displayed the ultimate power over sin and death, He invited us into a deep relationship with God. That's the gospel message. You can be the change in the world around you today by loving others well. Accept the power of God in your life. Accept the miracles that He is giving you. Accept the abundance, the trials, the hardships, all of it, and use it to fuel the good works that God has set before you. God's power is at work today. You have the power to be the light in the darkness around you. Accept it Give God the glory for it. Change.
Welcome back to Conversation with Zaki Baruti. In studio with me is Michael Kodjo, who's one of the founding members of the African Diaspora Council. Brother Kodjo, in that you're from, and he's all the way from West Africa to be with us. I want to go back to that whole question of the need for, especially Black Americans, to understand our people from the continent, because there is a myth that's out there that Africans don't like Black folks and Black folks don't like Africans. Deal with that.
That story, we coming here from West Africa, spending time with friends, sisters, brothers, we heard a lot about that story that we don't like each other. Black people, African don't like African American, and African American don't like Africans, and that's not true. If I see any Black man, I feel like, wow, that's my brother, and that's my big brother, that's my younger brother, that's my sister. That's the way we feel. But this conversation is disturbing, is distracting our community, and we need to have this conversation to make sure that we are in together. The collective problem that is facing the African American before we come here, we are here to be a part of that, to solve the collective problem together. I have 4 children, African American. They are African American here. If I don't like African American, that means my own children. How do I define that? So we need to have that conversation and make clear that we are here together to add up to you to fight the fight.
Absolutely. And to that end, in terms of, I'm a former educator. I used to always challenge my students to know, there's about 54 countries on the continent of Africa.
Right.
To be able to know their names and their locations. Why is that important?
It's important because you have to know where you're coming from. And we learned a lot when we were back home about the geography, history. We know a lot about outside world than people know about us in the continent. So I can tell you all the kingdom that we have in Africa, from Mali to West Coast, and from Egypt down whatever place, Kenyan, and all those people, I can call those names, Jomo Kenyatta from Kenya, the warrior, and you go to Ashanti region, and you go to the northern part, all that. And then coming to America, we learn all these things, but here we are. Our story is not well told in the Western world, especially to our brothers and sisters here in the United States. And all they're telling them is Africa is a jungle. That is not true. We are rich people. It's just mismanagement is what makes it, but we are getting there.
Okay, then. Also, the reverse of that is that a lot of our folks, a number of the Africans don't know the true story of the trials and tribulations of Black people right here in this country, as well as what is called the diaspora, the Caribbean islands and what have you. Is there any efforts on the continent to correct that too?
Those are the things that very important question, bringing that up. For instance, the Africa Day, let's use that as an example. The African Day is a liberation of the entire continent. It's the same thing as Juneteenth, if I can see that correctly. So we're trying to tell those stories so that we can educate each other, so that you can know what you went through, what African American went through, Black African American went through here, paving the way for us to be here. So if you are here today, you just feel comfortable. You don't know those who fought for that freedom of you coming here, then you have a work to do. And that's what we want to know. And we cannot tell that story. And that's why you and myself, we need to sit down so that you can tell me the story. And I'll tell you where we're coming from and where you're coming from, so that we can see how together we can improve or thrive together.
Now, also, just for educating our public, there's on the continent of itself, and that's since about in the mid 60s, there's a formulation of the Organization of African States that has transformed into the African Union. Educate our people about the African Union.
African Union started in 1960 after the Independence Day of African Ghana independent through Kwame Nkrumah. And
Kwame Nkrumah. People do a little study on Kwame Nkrumah, the very first black president of the country of Ghana. And after that independence, Kwame Nkrumah said that the liberation of Africa, independence of Ghana, is not effective till the continent is liberated. So they started working together with the president from a small country, Togo, Olympio, and they started working on how can they have the independence for all the countries. And finally, by 1963 to 63, the continent is independent. And since they have and that's from different liberation struggles. Understand that our people had to rise up, like in places like Mozambique, Angola.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. And it wasn't easy. And Congo had the same problem before leaving that country from not French-speaking country. Before the colonizer left the country, they almost destroyed everything. And those are the difficulties they went through. But at the end, they got their independence, but still not independent, 100% independent. So they're still struggling to come together as a people, and they formed that African Union, AU. So since they have different dates of independence, celebrating that, they make one day so that all of them come together as a people, which is African Union, to celebrate the Continent Independent Day, which is May 25th, 1963.
And right here in this country, they call that day African
Day, Africa Day.
Also African Liberation Day.
African Liberation Day.
Right. So will the African Diaspora Council be putting together a program for African Liberation Day?
Yes, we have a program coming up for African Liberation Day on May 25th. First of all, May 24th evening is the opening day. Friday evening from 6 to 9 o'clock. It's a cultural evening, talent show. And then the next day, Saturday, from 10:30 to 1:30, it's a conference. Will be a panel conversation and see how we can bridge the gap together. And then after 1 o'clock, we go home and come back in the evening from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. for dinner. So, and we'll followed by different awards and conversations.
Okay, on that note, we'll have to take another quick break.
God's free gift of grace offers lasting hope to Christians now, but it's not the only reason we can have such confidence. See, Jesus Christ promised his disciples that he will come again. We read about this in John chapter 14. We got to understand that the disciples were afraid, they were confused, they were distraught in their heart. They were feeling turmoil. Jesus had just declared that one would betray him. He had just exposed the fact that he was about to die. All of these things were in the disciples' mind, and to give them encouragement, Jesus says these powerful words. John chapter 14, 1 through 6, Jesus says, "Let not your hearts be troubled. Believe in God, believe also in me. In my Father's house are many rooms. If it were not so, would I have told you that I go to prepare a place for you? And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and will take you to myself, that where I am, you may be also. And you know the way to where I am going." Thomas said to him, "Lord, we do not know where you are going. How can we know the way?" Jesus said to him, "I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me."
Are you feeling down and out? I want to encourage you to experience hope in God's creation. how you can go for a walk in a local park or in the woods or even along the ocean and experience hope at this time. It's all outlined for you in this free book that I'll send you if you just write me and request such. You can write me Larry Rice, P.O. Box 473, St. Louis, Missouri, that's 63166, and request your book, Experiencing Hope in God's Creation, or call us at 314-421-3020.
Welcome back to Conversation with Zaki Baruti. In studio with me is Brother Michael Kodjo, who's a founding member of the African Diaspora Council. And on the other side of the break, he was sharing that they would be putting together an activity that everybody needs to be in attendance. And that's May 24th is a kickoff for African Liberation celebrations. And the following day, a conference. And now, where would this be taking place?
It's still in our location is 1425 Ferguson Avenue, 63133, St. Louis, Missouri. So, and you can reach out to me or reach out to the office, www.African Diaspora Council. You can send us email, info@African Diaspora Council, or you can call the office at 155-232-0007.
Now, going back to educating people who say, I want to do a little bit more study about the continent of Africa, are there any kind of particular books that you would recommend, and why is reading an important aspect?
Talking about have more information about the continent, there's a tons of book over there, but you have to find the right one that are not misleading. So we're here, we looking into how we can give the right direction to our people. So if anyone wants to have more information about the continent, that's the reason why the organization is here. So we are here to educate anyone who has a genuine heart to be educated and know more about the continent. That's the reason why the organization is here. So
now, do your organization, some organizations, be sponsoring trips to Africa? Have you done that?
Yes, we're trying to support and educate people how to get into the continent, and we refer a lot of people. Last year, we have women and children went to Ghana, and we have also a good conversation with the Black Americans Association in Ghana, actually, and they getting information. What they get from here before they get on the road, when they get to Ghana, is different. So we're having that conversation and how they should be, how can they do it to make it better?
Yeah, because there's a number of black people who have moved from this country to Ghana and other places, especially also South Africa.
Correct.
Now, let me ask this question. One of the things that I always respected the brothers and sisters from the continent, many of them were bilingual, trilingual. Are you bilingual?
Actually, I would say more than trilingual. I speak my mother tongue, which is Ewa. I speak Gan, which is Ghanaian language. I speak English, like you can hear from me speaking. I speak French as well, and I speak German.
Wow.
That's the reason why sometimes we have accent, because so much language are there to, yeah. So
how long have you been multilingual? Not not tri, you multi.
Yes. Well, growing up as a child from Togolese, I grew up to see the world in Ghana, so I have to switch, speaking Ghana. And then, after then, I came back to my country. But Ghana and Togo, they have a border. So you can still keep your mother tongue. So I can speak my Togolese language when I was very young in Ghana, still learning Ghana in Ghana. And after my primary school, I have to come back to my country to go back to high school. So again, I keep Ghana and I keep my mother language, learning French. And after then, I went to Germany. So, and now here I am.
Just for our audience, this is something different. I would like for you to say something in each language. But, but we got to take a quick break.
As we feel the darkness pressing in upon us, both personal needs and needs in the world, society as a whole, it's easy for us to get depressed. And when we're depressed and negative and feeling hopeless, we're not going to be able to help anyone. That's why I daily have to draw strength from the Word of God. That's why I have to go on walks in the midst of the wonders of God's works. And that's why I have to be able to see something that's worked for many, many years in my life, is that Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever, that He's with us always, even to the end of the world, and that we can be a light, letting His love and power flow in us and through us in a cold, dark world. There are people hurting out there. There's people that are crying out to God at this particular moment in the midst of their desperation. Can we be led by the Holy Spirit to them? Can we believe God to reach out and let His love flow through us and by faith help them meet their needs? That's the challenges that the Lord gives us in His Word. Experience the joy of really helping somebody else and letting the light and love of Christ shine in you and through you.
There are so many people who work in our community glorifying God with the gifts that they have, and we thank Zaki for doing that regularly with us. You can make a difference too by partnering alongside New Life Evangelistic Center. If you're tired of seeing all of the pain and the hurting around you in your community, and you're ready to get into the trenches and to work alongside a ministry that has been doing this work for so long, consider and pray helping New Life Evangelistic Center to be there when people are hurting. Zaki has done that for many years, and we're so thankful for that. You can be a part of the difference too. You can be a part of the team, God's team, of working to help heal the hurts of hurting people in our community. We would love to partner alongside you. Please contact us soon to get involved with the work of New Life Evangelistic Center.
Welcome back to Conversation with Zaki Baruti. We only have a couple of minutes with our good brother Michael Kodjo, founder of the African Diaspora Council. I want you to just real quick say greetings, Zaki Baruti, in the different languages. Okay, let's go with your native tongue, Togo, the country of Togo.
Ndi. Ndi is my language. Ndi, that's good morning.
Okay, so that's Togo. In Ghana then, real quick.
In Ghana, Akwaba.
Akwaba, okay. In French.
Bonjour.
Bonjour, comment allez-vous aujourd'hui? I just know a little bit. In German.
Good morning.
Oh.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Or
Okay.
guten Tag. Good afternoon.
Okay then. All right. So if anybody wanted to get in contact with the African diaspora, how would they get in contact with you and want to participate in the Liberation Day?
You can reach me at, as Elias said, go to our info at africandiasporacouncil.org, or you can go to the website at www.africandiasporacouncil.org, and you can see the event is there, or you can call the office at 1-855-232-0007.
Now let me ask you this. We only got a minute left. Why is it important that people know more about the continent of Africa and join an organization? Real quick.
Yeah, we need to know. You need to know your roots, and then you can compare where you are and how the movement is going on in this country, and so that you can, if you want to go to, you can know your roots. That's very important. That's the reason why we are doing what we're doing.
And why is it important to join an organization?
It's important to join because we need to all to come together as a people to tackle the collective problem that is facing our community.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, again, I appreciate you sitting in the chair with Conversation with Zaki Baruti, and thank you ever so much. And to my audience, like always, we say that make sure you vote at every election, but know the issues, as well as we encourage everybody to join an organization that speaks truth to power. We say join the Universal African Peoples Organization or the African Diaspora Council. On that note, may God bless each and every one of you.